Hi everyone, it's Rit with another process video, and today I'm playing with stamps and pigment inks. The first stamp set that I used is from Avery Elle, and it's called Rounded Diamonds, and I just love this set. I really like stamping, but with scrapbooking sometimes I find it a bit challenging to find good stamp sets. I love the Scraptastic stamp sets because it's for me a great combination of images and relevant phrases or words. But mostly, when I see like card makers on YouTube or something, I love their techniques and I love the stamps, but I can't imagine most of them working with my pages. So when I saw this set, I thought it was great because you can totally make your own background with whatever colors you want and just use these shapes in such fun ways. I think you could probably also use them as a base for a cluster or something like that, for an embellishment cluster. That could also work, but I got them just because I thought they would be great for backgrounds. And for this page I wanted to use some of my Polka Dot Party products. This is a Dear Lizzy collection, and I have the 12 by 12 paper pad and a couple of the embellishments. So I grabbed the die cut package and matched my inks as best I could to the colors of the collection. And the inks I went with they're all pigment inks. On the screen you can see also the Simon Says stamp ink at the top there. That's not a pigment ink, it's a dye ink, but I didn't end up using it. So I went with Memento Luxe Rosebud, that's the dark pink, and the rest are Avery Elle inks. And the light pink is called Orchid, the aqua is called Sea Glass, and the yellow is Mimosa. And I'm pretty new to pigment inks. I have only dye inks, but I'm really enjoying it. They stamp beautifully. You get such an even image, and the thing with pigment ink is that it sits on top of the paper, unlike dye ink that soaks into the paper. So they also take longer to dry, which can be an advantage if you want to do embossing, or a disadvantage if you're impatient or if you are worried about messing up your images, and of course then you can heat set it. But these inks dry, I would say, relatively fast. I really didn't find it to be a problem, and I'm quite impatient and I tend to mess things up. So if they weren't a problem for me, then that's a pretty good sign. Of course, if you want to be absolutely certain, you can just heat set it. Or emboss it. That's another option. Emboss it with a clear embossing powder, and then you can be absolutely sure that that ink is not going anywhere. So back to the page, what I like about process videos is that you can really see, how the page was made and how things evolve. And I'm sure this is very individual, but for me, many times I start with an idea, and then I start the page, and then I change everything around. So the video is about to turn a bit bad. No, I just mean that I filmed a small part of it in the evening, and I still have to work on the lighting situation in my craft room. I said it before, it's okay for scrapbooking, but it's not good for the video making, so I do apologize for that. And I also, if anyone can give me some tips on which light bulbs they use, but something, rather generic that I can also get here in Austria, what type of light works best for you, that would be very much appreciated. So back to the page, I skipped a part here, and what I did was I used another stamp set from Avery Elle, and this is called the Laurels stamp, and I have the stamp set and the matching die. These matching stamps and dies are just a disaster. I love how it looks, but those dies are just so expensive. I mean, the stamp set itself I think is like $15, like the regular price, and then the die set is even more than that. But with the Laurel, I couldn't resist, because it has like all these really pretty little flowers, and I thought that would look great as embellishments on scrapbook pages. So I got the set and the matching dies. And the part that you can't see here is that I use my Cuttlebug to cut out a bunch of all the images here, and then I stamp them. That's how I like to do it. I first die cut and then stamp. I think the other way is like super annoying, at least for me, but it's probably just me. I think it's easier to just die cut the whole thing, and then you know, you line up the images and just poof 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 stamp it right there. It's with the see-through, like the acrylic stamps. It's really easy. Clear stamps, not acrylic stamps. Clear. Sorry. So I had this idea. I chose that paper, that pattern paper with that beautiful floral in the bottom corner, and I thought I would build the background and then kind of put all the die cuts on it in this type of like growing flowers. And then of course I changed the whole thing around. I decided it's not really working for me. I cut that floral part away because I thought maybe I can use it for another page, because it's really pretty. And I grabbed the 12 by 12 paper pad from the Polka Dot Party collection, and I just searched for pattern papers with coordinating colors to the stamped images. So I found a couple of pink patterns, and one that had some yellow in it, and a couple of the aqua ones, and then I just built on the side of the page like these strips of pattern paper. And I always like curl the paper a little bit. I really like the dimension that you get from doing that. For the background, I just grabbed some pattern paper that I'm not likely to use. It's just not my style. It's an old My Mind's Eye paper. I'm not even sure how I have it. So it was just like a base, and you can't of course see it on the final page. Finding some paper with yellow was proving to be a bit challenging. I had that scrap from one of the double-sided pattern paper from the same collection, but the yellow was just different, and it, well, to me it was very clashing with the ink, so I didn't use it. And the papers in the paper pad, there was also one pattern with yellow, but it had some black in it, and I really didn't want to bring black into this page. I wanted this soft look. At the final page there is a very small amount of black, but it's in the photo and the journaling, which I wrote with a black pen, but a very, very fine tip pen. So I'm just building the layers, and again I'm going from the order that I stamped the images, so that aqua and then yellow, light pink and dark pink. And in this stage I was still not sure which photo I was going to go with, where it was going to go, or how exactly I was going to incorporate all those little die cuts, into the layout. But not to worry, at the end everything is okay. It has a happy ending with a finished page. I did this layout during 2 days, kind of. I started it, I stamped a bit, I stopped, I made another layout with my Scraptastic kit. I came back to it, and which I find sometimes is good, especially when I'm not really sure what I'm doing. It gives me time to, you know, think about things and like paint a picture in my head of what I could do with the products and what I already have. That triangle paper from the paper pad had I really wanted to use it, so I cut a strip from the side, but then I saw that it had also these dark it's don't even know how to, I think it's like a turquoise or some sort of it, like a dark turquoise color that really didn't go with my layout. And then I noticed that actually some rows had no triangles with that particular color, but because I already cut it from the side, everything was smaller than a 12 by 12. So I just cut it in the middle and like stretched it over the page, assuming I could find something to cover that gap eventually, like just to cover it so nobody knows that it's not a 12 by 12 strip. And so indeed it was. I did find a solution for that serious problem. I think every scrapbooker has a weakness, or in my case, a few weaknesses to certain type of products. I love buying, paper and embellishments, but because I live in Europe, it can be quite pricey to buy locally, like from an online store in Europe. And it's also pricey to order from the US because you have to pay a lot for shipping, and sometimes this only happened to me actually with 2 peas in a bucket, that they stop the packages in customs and then you have to pay extra. So with paper and embellishments, I'm now trying, at least in the last month, to limit my purchases to the Scraptastic Kit Club. It's partially working. Some months it works, other months it works a bit less. But one of my biggest weaknesses is inks and mists. Because, paper lines come and go, they're new and exciting, and, everyone's using them, and I want to get my hands on them also. And then pretty fast there's something else that is new and exciting. So, but with inks and mists, it's like I can stretch these things, and they work with everything. And I think if you make if you think about the way you scrapbook or make a cards or whatever, and see what type of colors you use, then even though sometimes it's tempting to buy every color out there, you can probably get away with a much smaller range of colors. So for me, I usually go for the pinks, the yellows, and the blues. I might have a couple of green inks because, sometimes there's like a leaf or something, or a rainbow effect, which if you watch my videos, you might have noticed that I like a little bit or a lot. So I really try, even if I see an amazing video and I loved how certain inks were used, I think if that would be a good color for me to use. Because with like pink and yellow and blue, I use that all the time. It's my favorite colors to scrap with, especially now aquas and mints. So these are the colors that I go for. And I usually order from Simon Says Stamp because they have a flat shipping rate, and usually you can get like a discount code or like a $5 off your order. It is sometimes rather slow, but nothing here is an emergency, so I do prefer to save a few bucks and wait a little bit longer. when I was done with the background, then I thought how I'm gonna place all these little flowers, and you can see that like my first thought was to start from the top and kind of make a cascading thing going towards the photo, and then I also tried on the other direction, and I decided to go with the first option, even though like now when I see it on video I really like also the other way I had everything placed there. But you know, it's done. No, but while I was doing the page I thought it didn't look that great. I thought the other option looked better, and for this I used my hot glue gun. It's by a company called Dremel. I got it in Amazon Germany, and I think it's just, I thought it would be the easiest way to glue everything, because what I like about using hot glue is that you get this nice dimension also. So the glue, besides the fact that it's that it glues things, it's also dimensional and really strong. So you can just put a dollop on the embellishments and then put it on the paper and it stays, and you get like a very dimensional layered look, which I think goes really nicely here with all the flowers. And this type of way of embellishing I got from Vilna Furstenberg. I love her style. I love everything that she does. I was really fortunate. I took a few workshops from her in Germany last autumn, sorry, and it was just great. She's such an enthusiastic teacher, and you can see that she really loves what she does. So that was really, really awesome to meet her, and she was really sweet. And of course I really enjoyed the workshops and enjoyed watching her work. I love her art classes at 2Ps. I just love everything she does. I'm a groupie, I admit it. After I adhered everything, I thought I needed a few more flowers at the bottom, so I just used my Cuttlebug and I cut a few of the bigger flowers and adhered them. And then I thought what else I could add to this very minimalistic page. But no, I thought that it only needed like maybe a few little touches, and also now when I see it I'm not even sure that was needed. But I grabbed some sequins from my stash, and I don't even know who made them. I think the see-through ones, like the aqua ones and the pink ones, are, I think I got them at Studio Calico like a while back. And I have no idea where I got the yellow ones. Here are some still photos of the finished page. I also added that cute metal clip. This is from Freckled Fawn. And you can get, I think, a better look at the stamping and just see how lovely those inks are. They're just so much fun. My stamping is far from perfect, but you know, I don't know, for me it's not, I never aim for perfection. That sounds bad. Well, not on my scrapbooking anyway. So I hope you enjoy this video and have a lovely day. Bye.